and good day, grade 8 learners. Welcome to DepEd TV. I am your English 8 teacher for today. My name is Teacher JD. Get ready as we explore and tackle new lesson while you are learning at home. So, grab a pen and a paper beside you because we will begin now. Last meeting we discussed context clues including their different types. By now, I hope you are all familiar with context clues. Let us just make a quick review of this lesson.
The first type of context clue that we tackled last episode is the definition clue. Under this clue, the unfamiliar word is defined in a sentence. Next to that is the synonym clue. In the synonym clue, a similar word is placed in the same sentence to know the meaning of unfamiliar word. Then we also have the antonym clue. In this type of clue, an opposite word is placed in the same sentence. Next to it is the comparison clue. In comparison clue, an unknown word is compared to a more familiar word and uses signals such as similar to, also, like, as, in the same way, likewise, and resembling. Next is example clue. Here, samples are provided in a sentence to understand the meaning of the unfamiliar word. Then we also have the explanation clue. In this clue, a description is given to understand the meaning of unfamiliar word. Then we have the cause and effect clue. The meaning of the difficult word depends on the cause and effect relationship of other words expressed in the sentence. Next, we also have the list or series clue. This is to understand the meaning of the unknown word. It is included in a series of words given in a sentence. And lastly, we have the inference clue. To understand the meaning of an unknown word, one has to make a guess based on the description given in the sentence.
So, we will proceed now to our next lesson and leave context clues. I have some words here that are actually related to our next lesson. Your task here is to arrange them because they are randomly arranged. You need to arrange them for you to provide the correct terms. Are you ready? Let's go! Now, when we are doing our own research, we need numerous researches and studies that would be useful for our own research. We include previously conducted researches and studies that would be useful for our own research topic. But to include some materials that are not really ours and claim them as if they are our own work is actually a big no. It is a crime. Now, stealing other people's intellectual property without their consent is called plagiarism. One French philosopher in the name of Voltaire said that actually stealing idea is more criminal than stealing money. Do you believe that our intellectual property must be protected by the law? Correct. The answer is yes. There is actually what we call intellectual property. But the question is, what is intellectual property?
Intellectual property or IP refers to creations of the mind such as inventions, literary and artistic works, designs, symbols, names, and images used in commerce which are protected by the law.
You need to make sure that when you start writing your own academic paper or research, you cite and include your sources, especially those that are not yours. Every time you state or include facts and ideas, or even quotations from books, journals, online articles, magazines, newspapers, or any other sources, you must write and list them, since they are being protected by the law. It is what we call citation.
What is citation? Citation is a reference to the source of information used in one's written work. In academic writing, citing sources is an important skill one student must learn. This does not only prove one's honesty, but also gives a glimpse on how a piece of written work was constructed.
We also need to cite our sources for the following reasons.
It gives credit to the original writers. It provides you and the readers with more information about the sources. It shows the writer's credibility, referring to whether his or her sources are reliable. And it prevents plagiarism, an act of stealing someone's ideas and presenting them as your own.
Now let's take a look on the flash set of references on your screen. How many references do you see? One way of citing your sources is through creating a list on a separate page of your research paper. Usually, it can be found at the last page of research paper. It is what we call bibliography. The question is, what is a bibliography?
A bibliography is a list of all of the sources you use in the process of researching your work. They are always alphabetically arranged. Basically, there are various ways in citing sources. First, we have the APA or the American Psychological Association style, which is used in social and behavioral sciences. Second, we have the Modern Language Association or MLA style, which is used for writing literature and related subjects like theater or film. And lastly, we have the Chicago Manual of Style or CMS, which is often used in many academic fields, especially in the humanities and social sciences.
Today, we will follow the bibliography annotation standards specified in the Chicago Manual of Style, 17th edition. There are also types and formats of sources of information. We have the printed sources and the online sources. Let's focus now on printed sources.
Printed sources are sources that have been published in printed format, such as books and periodicals. Under print sources, we have books. These are the most common and reliable sources of information that may be useful for your research paper.
Take a look on the format of bibliography when using a book as a source.
It starts with the author's last name, comma, and followed by writer's first name, period, followed by the title of the book, which is in italic form, and then colon, subtitle, period, the place of publication, colon, name of the publisher, period, and the year of publication, period.
On your screen is a sample of a book format having a single author. Observe the format.
Here is another format of book having 2 to 10 authors. And lastly, here is an example of a chapter in a book. Here is a tip. 2 or more authors should be listed in the order as they appear as authors and not necessarily alphabetically arranged. For sources with more than 10 authors, include only the first 7 in the bibliography and followed it with et al., a Latin phrase which means and others. Next will be periodicals. These are magazines, scholarly journals, newspapers, and newsletters published at regular intervals. Publication dates are essential when citing periodical sources. We also have journals. These are scholarly published periodicals containing articles written by researchers, professors, and other experts. This is the format in writing a journal bibliography. It shall begin with author's last name, comma, author's first name, period, the title of article within quotation marks, period, journal title that is in italic form, comma, and issue of information, period.
Check the sample format for journal bibliography.
Also, we have the magazines. These are periodical publications that contain stories, essays, pictures, and the like, usually published weekly or monthly. This is the sample format in writing a magazine bibliography. We have the author's last name, comma, author's first name, period, the title of article enclosed by quotation marks, period, the magazine title, comma, issue date, period.
Here is an example of magazine bibliography format.
And lastly, we have the newspaper. It is a periodical that is printed and distributed usually daily or weekly, containing news, opinions, features, and advertisements. It begins with the author's last name, comma, author's first name, period, the title of article enclosed by quotation marks, period, name of the newspaper, period, the month and day, comma, and year, period.
Take a look at the format of a newspaper bibliography.
To check your understanding on the lesson for today, we will do some enriching activities in writing a bibliography. And for your task, study the following bibliographical entries below. Write a check if you believe the entry is written correctly and an X if not.
Alright, time is up. Are you excited to check your answers? Let's go!
For number 1, the answer is check. For number 2, the answer is cross. For number 3, the answer is check. Number 4 is cross. And number 5 is check.
Great job, learners! You learned so fast. Keep it up! And for your final activity today, you need to identify if the following bibliographical entries are in book, online article, magazine, journal, or newspaper format. Write your answer on a separate piece of paper. Good luck! Alright, time for checking.
For number 1, the answer is magazine. For number 2, the answer is book. Number 3 is online article. Number 4, journal. And number 5, newspaper.
Nice one, learners. You're all so very impressive. Did you enjoy our lesson today? I hope you did. We'll see each other again soon on our next episode. This has been Teacher JB saying, stay safe and bye-bye.